Sports Next Door coming with a new segment, Sports Center Next Door, coming to you live right minutes after one of the most impressive wins of Novak Djokovic's career. I want to jump right into it because this match finished not 10 minutes ago and I caught pretty much the whole fifth set and it was amazing. I don't know if you were scrolling on anything.
I literally just been in the process of waking up. I didn't catch that.
Man, something about these 8:30 podcasts I think have reverted my sleep schedule. I've been waking up before like 8 every morning now. So this morning, like plenty, I woke up. I was kind of waiting to get started and just killing time. And I was checking out what was going on in the Australian Open because we want to talk about our Canadians among others. And I realized that the Djokovic game was still on, being the best player in the world, obviously wanted to catch that. I threw it on and I saw Djokovic had won the first two sets, but they were pretty close, and then dropped the second two, or I caught just the end of the fourth, which he dropped. And something didn't look right as soon as they jumped into the fifth set. He was just moving a little funny, and it turned out he got injured like right around the start of the third set, and he just like he couldn't return the serves, and he was playing Taylor Fritz, who had a fantastic serve. He had 24 aces throughout the match, and the fifth set started 2-2, Djokovic injured, and he gets his first serve, or gets his first set through the serve, but Fritz comes out and just blasts him with the serve, and it's not looking good for him. I think it goes to 2-2, and just Fritz has all the momentum, and then Djokovic came out and just started blasting, like just nothing scarier than an injured corner animal, and he just went all in on so many shots. Like, if I'm going down swinging, and just kicked it into a higher gear. He took it 3-2, starting to like put together a really impressive service game even on the second serves, and then he broke Fritz's serve in the, I guess, sixth set, so he took it 4-2, and just it was such an incredible. There was no crowd. I think Australia's jumped into a bit of a lockdown again, but the change in the air was so palpable. It was so amazing to watch. Um, he made it 30-30 while he was up 3-2, and it just switched, and Fritz was doing his best, but you saw the benefits of being at the top for so long because all the pressure was on Djokovic. It looked like he was going to drop it. He was trying to find a way to turn it around, and suddenly he was just ahead. He was making the better shots. It was Fritz who was in a corner, and the unforced errors started to pile up a little. Djokovic broke him with just some fantastic shot making, mixing up the drops, the forehands, placing it beautifully in the corner, and then he just ran with it and ended up breaking Fritz's serve again to take it 6-2. I I think I just got to witness one of the like most impressive tennis performances of Djokovic's career, and I'm so happy I got to see that. It was fantastic to watch. Very inspirational.
Yeah, there's something to be said about the love that people have for Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal, uh, how they've been so sustainably at the top of tennis forever, but like Djokovic has had perhaps an even more dominant run in the last decade. Just really, really cool that we've had like three of the top, I don't know, five guys of all time playing right now in the same era, and we're getting to witness this greatness.
Yeah,
There's something to be said about, I guess, the adrenaline that goes on when you're in that fifth set. He definitely is a guy who's got great endurance and has played in a lot of long matches before. But yeah, there's probably some veteran presence that comes in late in that fifth set.
yeah, it was so crazy to be watching, and you felt the momentum swing because when that set started, it felt like it was kind of over for Djokovic. Just it Fritz was serving so well. It was like, and Djokovic was just kind of scraping through on his service sets. It just felt like a matter of time before Fritz broke him, which I think was what happened in the earlier two, and then just the mental willpower to stay in it. He had some crazy returns just on Fritz's first serve a couple times, and the shot placement. And then you just, I mean, in tennis, if you're not winning, or in any two-man sport, really, if you're not winning, you're losing, right? So as soon as he starts winning, Fritz starts losing, the shoe's on the other foot, and you just see, I mean, Fritz played amazing, don't get me wrong. He had some excellent aces even at the end there, but just a couple more chokes, and it was so incredible to watch him hang in it. And yeah, like you said, I think Djokovic just started his career a bit later than Nadal and Federer. So he'll go on a bit later than them. And when all's said and done, we'll look at those three and just Djokovic slightly more forward timeline. But I can't wait. Well, I'm actually in no rush for their careers to end. When it's all said and done, we'll take a look back. But for now, no rush. Keep playing like that. And I mean, if you can win games like that injured, then let's see how long you can go.
Definitely.
So with that win, he's scheduled to face Milos Raonic, the Canadian, who moved on through the third round earlier, somewhere in our sleep cycle. But Djokovic is, he did say in the post-game interview, he thinks it's a tear. So maybe he doesn't, maybe this is where his Australian Open ends, which if you're a Raonic fan is probably good news because Djokovic has an excellent record against Raonic. But I mean, I may be a little unpatriotic for saying this, but it doesn't feel like we lose either way.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we had another one of those situations earlier, which again I wasn't able to catch, and the highlights aren't quite out yet, but coming at you live. I tried to learn how to pronounce this properly. I still have not quite gotten it, and I spent 4 years in Quebec. But Felix Auger Aliassime, yeah, that sounds a little too Arabic,
Yeah.
eh? Aliassime,
It sounds good
no,
to me.
Aliassime. Went up against Denis Shapolov, the two hottest Canadian prospects, and Felix takes it in straight sets. I'm pretty sad I didn't get to catch that one, but there was no way I was waking up at 3 a.m. for it.
So about 5 minutes before I hopped on, I was able to catch the like very condensed version of the highlights for this match. Felix ended up being, he's about 1 year behind in his development from Shapo, as like Shapovalov stepped onto the scene just a little bit earlier and had such a great run like as soon as he came up, because both of them were just so dominant on the junior circuit. And in their previous matches, and Felix has, I don't know, he has a little bit of hesitancy once he reaches a bigger stage. Every time he's played Shapovalov in the past, he's been a little bit hesitant. You can tell he's deferential a little bit in those matches, and he's made it now to a couple finals of some of the minor tournaments, and even in those finals, he's looked a little bit shy from the spotlight. But what I saw from those highlights, it looked like he had an incredibly strong mindset going into this match, because he was matching Shapo shot for shot, and Dennis is a hard hitter, and Felix was all over the place. He had this one point where it was for a break, and Shapovalov had him on the run, hit it way cross court, and Felix had to stretch out and reach, and he was still able to get full power on his fully extended forehand and hit the line for the break and the game. It was an incredible shot, and he turned around and he fist pumped 3 times and he hyped up the crowd. Like you could just tell he was locked in. And so great to see from the kid. I think they were both seeded 11 and 20th in the tournament. So there are high expectations on the both of them, and it sucks that they had to meet here. But I think this is a big moment for Felix. I think he's been on a bit of a roll to start the season. So I don't know what he did in the offseason. I don't know if he did any mental training, but it looks like he's locked in and ready to make a deep run here at the Aussie Open.
Yeah, I did catch most of Felix's second round game against Duckworth, and I saw him make almost that exact same shot you described, just on the ropes, but he's just so dang athletic that he manages to get, no ball is out of play for him. And like, you hate those situations in tennis where you get your opponent on the ropes and then they just something about that shot has like sets them up with a perfect angle to put it away. It's like one of the most frustrating feelings in the game. Speaking of frustration in tennis, let me ask you if this sounds familiar. Two players going up against each other, one looking for power shots, trying to like spank their serve in, the other one just returning absolutely everything the one throws at them. Um, and then the unforced errors start to pile up as the frustration builds and the power shots just won't go in. And when they do go in, they just get returned. Does this sound familiar at all to you?
I, I could be wrong, but it kind of sounds like me and you playing over at the old tennis courts.
Oh, well, I was talking about Bianca Andreescu going up against I shout way something.
So you're Bianca in this scenario?
Yes.
Oh, nice. It's pretty good
Well,
comp.
not when you lose like that, which I'm very familiar with, and Bianca got a taste of. Her second round exit, disappointing to see. I pretty much just described the game right there. She wasn't able to get the versatility going in her game, and she had to really rely on the power shots. And her opponent, whose name I really should have written down, was just a bend and not break. Like very few of Bianca's shots put her out, and most of the extended rallies she was able to hang in there and just return, and make Bianca make a mistake. um you saw the pressure building on Bianca. I thought it was somewhat significant that she exited the match dropping back-to-back double faults. So disappointing, but I think it just speaks to the importance of keeping your feet wet at all times. And as we see Bianca continue to play opens and matches, her game will get back to that level that we were so happy to see it at when she won that first Grand Slam.
Definitely. Before we get into the last of the women's section, I do want to touch briefly on the last men's matchup that wrapped up about an hour ago. We have Dominic Thiem with a huge comeback over the hometown player, I guess. I don't know how much they like him in Australia. He's a bit of a wild card, Nick Kyrgios, and always a lot of motion from him. Always a lot of weird gifts whenever he's playing, and there's going to be drama, yelling at the umpire when he moved through in the second round. But TM down 2-0, big comeback rally to win 3-2 and finished it off with an absolute beautiful backhand down the line. Yeah, so just shout out to Thiem because he's one of these like group of younger players that are slowly rising up along with Shapolov, along with Felix moving up and starting to challenge Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic up at the top there. So yeah, just another bright young tennis star that's making his name coming up through the men's side.
Yeah, seeded 3, so might even argue he's there
Yeah,
already. Yeah, and then I don't have a lot to add to finish on the women's. Naomi Osaka is probably the favorite to win the tournament, continues to cruise, having won her 17th straight. Some nice camera moments with that butterfly landing on her, little symbolic maybe.
and who knows? Maybe we'll see a Osaka Williams matchup because Serena Williams I don't even know what season this is for her. It's like her, and it feels like you could compare her to a LeBron, to a Tom Brady, to I guess a Roger Federer on the men's side. She's been around for so long and continues to just mow down people in tournaments. I think she's got 57 trophies or somewhat on the WTA tour, like just pure dominance. And definitely when you're bringing up that GOAT conversation, which has been brought up quite a few times this week after the Super Bowl, Serena Williams has got to be there because
Yes.
she is one of the all-time greats.
No, the women's tennis greatest of all time, without
Yeah.
a doubt. Yeah, it is fascinating to see. I mean, we kind of talked about this about the Super Bowl last time. You have some players like Brady whose game just translates so well over time, whereas players like Mahomes, who like they kind of need the peak and prime of their athleticism to be so good. And so switching that to the tennis, that's what's been so impressive about Federer and Nadal, the shot making longevity. And if you'd asked, like, is Serena going to be in the, like, which of those camps is Serena going to fall in 10 years ago, you'd have said, like, the when she ages, it's not going to translate well because the power is such an important part of her game and the athleticism. But I mean, she's just scratched the finals of so many Grand Slams in the past couple of years. It would be a fascinating, I mean, a crazy. I don't want to say cap it off, because if she goes and wins a Grand Slam, then why can't she go and continue to do that? But if she can get one more, it would be monumental.
Yeah, for her, it's just she's been around for so long that she's seen every situation, and she's such a smart player as well that even if she's losing half a step and losing half an extra, I don't know, Newton meter of force, she's able to compensate for that by just playing angles a little bit better and understanding the tendencies of her opponent. So yeah, she's she's just incredible to watch. Going to be fun looking forward to see how the rest of the Aussie Open goes forward. There's going to be no fans after I think they had an outbreak in a hotel. Someone either returning from traveling. I don't know the full story, but they've removed all fans for 5-day isolation lockdown period in Australia, and then maybe we'll have fans back for the elimination bracket semis finals. That'd be nice to see because it's been a while since we watched a sporting event with a large enough amount of fans where you can actually feel their impact, because we've had some fans in the stands, NFL, NBA, but it's they still have to play the crowd over top, which I know we both don't like. So it'll be, hopefully we'll get to hear like authentic crowd noise at some of these tennis matches as we get to the finals.
And we're not talking about fuck yous to Rafael Nadal when we say that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Yeah, I'm excited to keep covering this and keep watching it. I haven't really watched tennis in quite a while, actually, but I think we played a ton of matches over the summer, and that kind of rekindled some interest for me. And yeah, it's been really fun so far, and hoping to see Felix take it deep.
Absolutely. So we'll have Combat Corner when we come back from this break, and also some NBA and some NHL storylines coming up on today's pod.